Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make the scarf here. Now the top will have a slant, as does the bottom has a slant also, the opposite direction. Now this is called the flying shell stitch. So this is technically the front side of your work, but I think it looks good both ways, either way you wanted to wear it. It looks pretty neat. So my scarf is approximately almost 9 inches wide. Of course you can make it thinner if you want. I'll give you the multiple. And it's about 72, maybe a little bit more inches long. So I'm going to set that to the side. And what I use is a Caron Big Cake. Now this is a medium weight 100% acrylic, medium weight number 4, 100% acrylic yarn. Now you don't have to use this yarn. Any medium weight yarn will work. There are 603 yards. A full cake got me in between 6 to 7 feet. So I mean, it's a big long scarf. Of course you do not have to make it that long. You can get a scarf and make a shorter scarf and get a hat out of it probably too. But the color that I use is called Blue Hawaiian. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Okay, the flying shell stitch is done in a multiple of 4 plus 2, which means that your beginning chain needs to be divisible by 4, and then you add 2 more chains to it. So if you're following along with me, you want to make it the same width as mine. I started out with a chain of 30. 28 was my multiple of 4, and then I added 2 more to my base chain to make 30. So what we're going to do now is we are going to work a flying shell stitch in the second chain from the hook. Now remember, we do not count the one that's on our hook. So 1, 2, and I'm going to show you what a flying shell stitch is. It's really easy to do. In the second stitch, we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet like that. And then we're going to chain 3, and in that same spot I'm going to work 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and that is how you do the flying shell. Now we are going to skip 3 stitches. So skip, 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 and in the next we will work another flying shell stitch. So skip your 3. In the next we're going to work our flying shell. So we're going to single crochet, chain 3, go back into the same spot and work 3 double crochets. And that creates the flying shell. And this is what we're going to repeat until we get to the end of row 1. Skip 3, skip, 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 and in the next we work a flying shell stitch, which is a single, a chain of 3, and then 3 more doubles, all into the same stitch. So I am going to repeat this pattern until I get to the end of the row. Skip 3, and then I do my flying shell into the next. Skip 3, and I do my flying shell into the next. Okay, I'm coming to the end of my row, and I did my last flying shell stitch, and I have 4 stitches that remain here. Now I want to go ahead and skip 3, and in the last stitch I'm just going to end by putting a single crochet into that last stitch. Just like that. And now you'll have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flying shell stitches. So now we're going to start row 2. So rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the repeat rows for the whole pattern. So it's a 4-row repeat. So row 2 is going to start the row repeat. So we are going to do a chain of 3, and that chain of 3 is going to count as a double crochet, and we're going to turn our work. Now we're going to go right back into this same stitch here, and we're going to put another double crochet, just like that. Okay, now we are going to skip these 3 double crochet here of the flying shell, and we're going to put a single crochet into the top chain of this chain 3 here. So go right into that top chain and single crochet. And now we're going to find the next stitch, which is a single crochet right down here, and we're going to put a V-stitch into it. So what the V-stitch is, right into the single crochet, we are going to put 1 double, a chain of 1, and 1 more double. So that's the V-stitch for this pattern. Double, chain 1, double. Now we're going to skip these next 3 stitches here, and again we're going to single crochet into the top of this chain space, into the top chain of it. And now we're going to repeat that until the end of the row. So we are going to come down here to our next single crochet right here down at the bottom, and we're going to put a V-stitch in it. So we're going to work a double crochet, a chain 1, and another double crochet all into that single crochet. And then we're going to skip these 3 stitches, and we're going to single crochet into the top chain of this chain 3 here. And we're going to repeat this pattern until we get to the end of the row. So come down here to the single crochet right there, V-stitch right into it. So 1 double, chain 1, and 1 double. And then again we skip these 3 stitches and single crochet into the top of that chain. So I'm just going to keep repeating this until I get to the end of row 2. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 2. Now if you ask me, the ending of row 2 is the trickiest part of the whole pattern, and it's not even that tricky. It's just, you just kind of got to watch where you put your stitches. So at the end of row 2, I just did my last V there into my last single crochet. What I'm going to do is this chain 3 here on the end, I'm going to single crochet into the top of that stitch. Now that is not going to end the row. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 double crochets way down here at the bottom, the very last stitch of this single crochet down here. That's the only tricky part, is you got to remember, after you do this single crochet into the top of that chain on the end of row 2 only, you got to come back down here and put 2 double crochets in that bottom single crochet. Other than that, the pattern is pretty easy, just like that, as long as you remember to do that. And that will end row 2. And now we are going to start row 3, and we're going to chain 3, which counts as a double, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to work 3 double crochets right here into this very first stitch. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So you got your chain 3, and then you got your 3 double crochets. So we're going to skip 1 stitch, this stitch right here, and in the next stitch right here we're going to do a flying shell. So we're going to go right into it, so skip, and then the next one we're going to single crochet, chain 3, and then work 3 doubles all into the same stitch. Remember, that's how we do our flying shell stitch. Just like that. And now we're going to start our repeat. We're going to skip this V-stitch, and in the next stitch, which is a single crochet from the previous round, here's our V-stitch, we skip it, here's the single crochet, we put a flying shell stitch into the single crochet. So we go into it and we single crochet, chain 3, and go back into the same spot and work 3 double crochets. Like that. And now we're going to repeat it again. We skip this V-stitch right here, and in the next stitch, which is a single crochet right there, sometimes you just got to look for it, we're going to work another flying shell. So go right into it and you work your single crochet, chain 3, and 3 more double crochets. So I am going to repeat this pattern all the way until I get to the end of row 3. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 3. Now I did a flying shell here. Now this is how we're going to end row 3. I'm going to skip my V-stitch and I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to do half of a flying shell, I guess, right here into this last single crochet. So I'm going to go into it and single crochet. This is how we end row 3. And then I'm going to chain 3. Now, instead of working 3 double crochets back into that same spot, I'm going to double crochet 2 together over these last 2 stitches. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into the next double crochet, draw up a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook. And then I'm going to yarn over and go into the top of that last chain there, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops. I'll have 3 loops that remain. I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3. And that's how you end row 3. Okay, now we're going to start row 4 by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now we're just going to skip this chain space completely and we're going to work a V-stitch right here into this first single crochet here. So right there, we're just going to work a V-stitch. We're going to do a double, chain 1, and double. Now we're going to skip these 3 stitches again and single crochet into the top of this chain 3 like that, and then we're going to V-stitch right down here into this single crochet, and then we're going to skip these 3 stitches and we're going to single crochet into the top of that chain 3. So we're just going to repeat this until we get to the end of the row. V-stitch into this single crochet right down here, and single crochet into the top stitch of this chain 3. And I'm going to repeat this until I get to the end of row 4. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 4 and I'll show you how you end row 4. I just did my last V-stitch there into that last single crochet, and we're just going to end row 4 by putting a single crochet and into the top of our last chain 3. Just like that, and that's how we end row 4. That's what it's starting to look like. So now we're going to start row 5 by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now we are going to work a flying shell stitch into this very first stitch. So we're going to go into it and we're going to single crochet, chain 3, go back into it and work 3 more double crochets. So that's the flying shell. That. And now we're going to skip this V-stitch and we're going to work a flying shell into the next stitch, which is a single crochet. So go right into it and single crochet, chain 3, and 3 more doubles, which is our flying shell stitch. And this is what we're going to repeat all the way across for row 5. Skip this V-stitch, the next stitch, which is a single crochet, work a flying shell right into that stitch, just like that. So we're going to repeat this to the end of row 5, and I'll meet back up with you and I'll show you how to end the row. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 5. I did a flying shell here into my last single crochet. I'm going to skip this V-stitch and I'm going to end row 5 by single crocheting into the top of this turn chain here, actually or just somewhere kind of close right here on the end like that, just do a single crochet. And that's it. That'll end row 5. Now you just want to keep repeating rows 2 through 5 until you get your scarf as long as you want it to be. You can rewind me if you need to. Now you can end this on whatever row that you want to end it on. Of course, I didn't end it on the jagged row, but you can if you want. I actually ended on row 4 of the repeat. We repeat rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. I stopped on a row 4 repeat, but you can stop anywhere you want. Remember, you can make it as long as you want, you know, to your desired length, and stop whatever row you want. If you want to make it thinner, you can just adjust the multiple like I said. But I think it turned out good. I did not color control this project, in case anybody's wondering. You can see the breaks in the collar in mid-row. So I just let the collars go as they fell. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So you don't miss out any on my videos. Make that bell, hit that bell, make it ring. I have hundreds of crochet tutorials, free crochet tutorials on my channel. In fact, if you look over there on the right hand side of the screen right now, I'm going to put a playlist of all my videos. Hundreds of them. Tutorials, lots of yarn talk. I like to talk yarn. Anything crochet and yarn related you can find on my channel. So if you get a chance, maybe you want to go through that playlist, and maybe you'll find something else that you like and want to make, or some other video that you like and want to watch. So until next time, have a good day.